In the heart of a rainy island in the North Atlantic, a small kingdom began to dream of greatness. What started as a maritime nation seeking trade and opportunity would grow to become the largest empire in human history, the British Empire. For centuries, its red banners fluttered across continents and its ships ruled the waves. But behind this power lay a complex story of ambition, innovation, struggle, and change. It all began in the 16th century when explorers like Sir Francis Drake and Walter Raleigh set sail into unknown seas. Britain, inspired by the wealth of Spain and Portugal, wanted its own piece of the world. The first colonies appeared in the Americas, Jamestown in 1607, a small wooden fort surrounded by wilderness. Life was harsh, but the English spirit of endurance prevailed. Tobacco soon turned the colony profitable, and dreams of empire took root. By the 17th century, Britain had established colonies across the Caribbean, trading sugar and spices. London became the beating heart of maritime power. Yet this prosperity came with shadows: the rise of the Atlantic slave trade. Millions of African lives were torn apart to fuel plantation wealth. The empire's golden coins were often stained with human suffering. In the 18th century, Britain's might spread further. The East India Company sailed to Asia not just to trade, but to rule. India became the jewel in the crown of the empire. Soldiers marched under the Union Jack, and British governors ruled vast lands from Bengal to Bombay. With each conquest, the empire grew richer and more confident. But empires, no matter how mighty, are not without conflict. Across the ocean, in the American colonies, people began to resent British control. They cried, "No taxation without representation." And in 1776, the American Revolution erupted. The loss of 13 colonies was a painful blow, yet it taught Britain a lesson. It would build a different kind of empire, one that relied more on trade than tyranny. During the 19th century, the British Empire entered its golden age. The Industrial Revolution transformed Britain into the workshop of the world. Steam engines powered ships that crossed oceans, while railways stitched continents together. Britain's navy became the strongest ever seen, ensuring that, as people said, the sun never set on the British Empire. From Africa to Asia, red patches covered maps. In Egypt, British engineers built the Suez Canal, linking east and west. In South Africa, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, settlers built new nations under the Union Jack. English language, law, and culture spread far beyond the island's shores. At its height, the empire ruled over a quarter of the world's population and land. Yet this vast power came at a price. Many nations suffered under colonial rule. Local industries declined as British goods dominated markets. Famines struck India and Africa, worsened by imperial mismanagement. Indigenous peoples in Australia, North America, and Africa were displaced, their traditions suppressed. Even as Britain brought railways and education, it often took freedom and dignity in return. Still, the empire was never static, it constantly evolved. In India, great reformers and thinkers like Rajaram Mohan Roy and Gandhi emerged, seeking justice and independence. In Africa, movements for education and rights began to stir. The seeds of change were planted. Then came the 20th century, and with it, two devastating world wars. During World War I, soldiers from across the empire, Indians, Canadians, Africans, Australians, fought side by side under the British flag. The war drained Britain's strength, yet the empire still stood. But after World War II, the balance of power shifted. Britain was exhausted, its economy shattered, and the world no longer accepted colonial domination. In 1947, India achieved independence, the empire's greatest jewel slipping from its grasp. One by one, other nations followed: Burma, Ceylon, Kenya, Nigeria, and many more. The empire that had once ruled the world began to dissolve. But its end was not only about loss. It marked the birth of dozens of independent countries, each shaping its own destiny. In the modern world, the British Empire survives only in memory and legacy. its language remains global, its systems of law and governance influence nations everywhere, and its history continues to shape international relations. The Commonwealth of Nations, a voluntary association of former colonies, stands as a reminder of shared past and cooperation over domination. The story of the British Empire is not simply one of glory or guilt, it is both. It is the tale of a small island that transformed the world through exploration, commerce, science, and sometimes cruelty.